Good evening, everyone. I'm Laura Ingram. This is the Ingram Angle from Washington tonight. I have to say, happy anniversary to the Ingram Angle. We launched our show 7 years ago tonight, and you, the viewers, and our entire Fox family made the show's success possible. So I want to thank you all very much, as always, for watching. First, he was a businessman, then he was president, right? Then, well, fry guy at McDonald's. And now it looks like Trump picked up another job, garbage man.
Like my garbage truck. This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden. The comment made by really both of them, because there are really two of them, about being garbage, maybe 250 million people. They shouldn't be talking. That's like deplorable for Hillary. This is the deplorable for Hillary. And I think this is worse, actually. For Joe Biden to make that statement, it's really a disgrace.
Okay, that was brilliant. The McDonald's stop was brilliant. And, you know, we always say, make America great again. I think make campaigns fun again. Okay? We all need to laugh. We all need to have a little fun. But that really does illustrate the everyman approach that Trump has been trying to take as this campaign has moved on. And also taking their insults and their vitriol and kind of turning it against them. And then in some cases, just having a little fun. Brilliant move. Whoever came up with that, gold star. And that brings us to love and hate. That's the focus of tonight's angle. Now, in a warped way, Joe Biden's remarks last night about Trump and his voters were refreshing, only because he spoke the quiet part out loud.
Just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating down there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable, and it's un-American. It's totally contrary to everything we've done.
Now, of course, the White House and all their media pals tried to clean up Joe's remarks, but we all know he meant them. And remember, he's the same fellow who called the country systemically racist in the summer of 2020. Talk about hateful.
Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's and Tim Walz. To portray everyone who isn't voting for them as evil or subhuman. We know it's what they believe, because look how they've treated you. They've treated you like garbage, frankly. They've treated you like garbage. You know what? The truth is they've treated our whole country like garbage, whether they meant to or not, because they're grossly incompetent people, and they've destroyed our country.
Now, not only did Biden steal Kamala's thunder last night, he undercut the theme of her so-called closing pitch, which was unity and cooperation.
Unlike Donald Trump, I don't believe people who disagree with me are the enemy. He wants to put them in jail. I'll give them a seat at the table. For too long, we have been consumed with too much division, chaos, and mutual distrust. And it can be easy then to forget a simple truth. It doesn't have to be this way.
Well, you bet. And after Tuesday, we hope it won't be this way. Of course, there is a good reason, though, right, for Americans to distrust Washington, D.C., and, of course, the mess that Kamala helped create. She opened our border. She flooded our country with illegals, which I think is treasonous. She drove up inflation with insane spending and, of course, destroyed our energy independence to drive up gas prices. Now, you think that might have caused some of the chaos that American families are feeling with their budgets? How about for young people trying to buy a house? For young women raped or threatened by migrants? So if they don't hate America, then why did they punish Americans with these policies? Why did Kamala and Joe fling open the border, which they knew would cause pain, suffering, and yes, even death to American citizens? Why? A few days ago, a retired Green Bay police officer was allegedly killed by an illegal in a hit and run. And yesterday in Louisiana, 17-year-old Luis Renan Bonilla Alfaro, here illegally, was arrested after he admitted to molesting 2 boys, ages 4 and 7, and filming the heinous acts. Police believe there are more victims. So Kamala says she loves America. But how do you love a country if you enacted policies that allowed this to happen in the United States? How does she love America when she refuses to change her policies? Remember, I wouldn't change anything. Now, no matter how much the White House and the media tried to spin Joe's garbage remarks, we all know, again, he meant them, and that Kamala and her most radical supporters agree with them. That's why, beyond being stepped on by Joe, her speech last night was so ineffective. It was also just bizarre because it was internally inconsistent and ultimately hateful. Denigrating Trump with debunked smears and despicable lies.
Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. He has an enemies list of people he intends to prosecute. Nearly 250 years ago, America was born when we wrested freedom from a petty tyrant. They didn't do that only to see us submit to the will of another petty tyrant. We are not a vessel for the schemes of wannabe dictators.
Very, very unifying and uplifting. Once again, Trump's a fascist. How original. It's so boring. And of course, she believes that Americans supporting him, of course, they have to be fascist too, or just they're really stupid. Whatever it is, it's hateful. But none of this, as Trump alluded to, should surprise us because these insults come on a long line of others. Hillary's deplorables line, Michelle's first time I'm proud to be an American line, and Obama's bitter clingers description of conservatives. And of course, America is intrinsically racist, which I mentioned earlier, which they've all proclaimed. Now, although at times they've hidden it, they've always harbored a hatred of our history, a hatred of our constitutional framework, of our current court, of serious Christians, of conservative media, or anyone who thinks for themselves. Certainly they hate this show, probably most of you. And their hatred stands in stark contrast to the movement Trump started. It's one that's overwhelmingly bound by a love of country and a love of each other. This the left does not understand, just like they don't understand why Trump remains himself so popular. Think about it. After they tried to jail him on political charges, after they tried to bankrupt him with lawsuits, impeach him twice, few Democrats, really no Democrats, predicted that Trump would not only endure all of these attacks, but expand his coalition and then emerge out of it more popular than ever. So what explains this? Love. More Americans than ever understand that only a man driven by a deep love of country would stay in this fight. Others would have left it a long time ago. And not just stay in the fight, but yell, fight, 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 minutes after a would-be assassin tried to kill him. Who wouldn't admire this? Who doesn't want to return to the country we had in 2019?
I want to live in a country where we feel safe again, and that's